Obsessed podcast. We'll be sitting down with a fresh guest each week. Someone who shares the same kayak fishing passion that runs through our veins. We're talking kayak anglers, kayak companies, lure experts. Heck, anyone who's got a story to tell about landing the big ones from a kayak. We're setting our sights on becoming the #1 kayak fishing podcast in the world. You'll get a chuckle, a grin, and hey, maybe even a belly laugh. Because we believe in the power of humor. But above all, we're here to educate and inspire. So, whether you're a seasoned kayak angler or just dipping your toes into this exhilarating world, join us on the Kayak Fishing Obsessed podcast. It's time to reel in adventure, camaraderie, and the joy of the catch. Here's your host, Darren Windle.
Hey, you fish freaks. Welcome to episode number 115 of the Kayak Fishing Obsessed podcast. Your ultimate source for all things kayak fishing. And special thanks to our show sponsor, Dark Horse Tackle. If you love those underground kind of premium under the radar baits, head over to darkhorsetackle.com. I'm signed up for their box that they send out monthly. And the lure of the week, these guys right here, these are going to be the Thin Swims by G-Rat. So I have a feeling, and I'm going fishing in the river here in Ohio on Thursday with Jake Cook, and this thing is going to get murdered. So look forward to taking that along the ride with me. Take you guys along as well. Hopefully there'll be a video on it. If there's not, it means they didn't catch anything. So we'll see what happens. But big shout out and thanks to a new channel member. He actually became a channel member on last week's show. During the show, Johnny Bennett, my man, thank you so much for helping support the dream. And tonight, guys, I'm excited. We're talking about some new fishing kayaks hitting in 2026. I have the owner, Josh Thomas of CaminoJourney.com. We're going to be walking through his new fleet, not just a new kayak. Right. Usually when people, they just launch like a new kayak. Hey, I got one new kayak. We'll see how this does. We'll build this thing into a business. Nope. He's like, I got 6. We're going to 6 at once. But as you guys will find out in just a minute, not his first rodeo. So we'll get to a little bit of history. But first, we got to talk about Seth, the Hammer Taylor. My man, bro, you Bassmaster top 5 is like your middle name. How to go with Toledo Bend. Congratulations on the 5th place win. I know earlier in the season you got a 2nd place win. I believe you're the only person to finish in the top 5 twice this year. Is that correct? Did I get my numbers correct?
Yeah,
you were close
right on that.
to the AOY points winner. So we'll talk about that. But tell us how it went.
Yeah, man.
It's a rough week too, because we had unfortunately a passing of a
we had a
kayak angler.
Yeah, we had a death of an angler there. We're still not sure what happened for everyone that hasn't been updated on the situation. I was there when he was found. I was about to go out and look for him with the search crew, and one of the boats that was just kind of putting around the ramp had found him before the actual search teams really went out that morning. But we really don't know what happened yet because it was relatively calm conditions in a little pocket. There's stumps everywhere. He didn't have his vest on, but his graph wasn't on yet. He had just left the ramp. So hopefully the family will get some answers from the autopsy. It was a rough start to the week for sure. And but ended up being able to find him on Friday to have some closure for the family. Mm-hmm. And after that was over, I went out and completed practice. And we talked about this before on some of our podcasts on here, Darren, how I kind of like grade my practice spots, like my areas, my locations, like where my patterns, like an A pattern, like this is my A spot, or this is a B minus, a B plus, whatever it is. And leaving practice Friday afternoon, I felt like I had a B and a B minus, pretty much. That's what I had. And I knew my B minus was more of a risk, but it had a higher ceiling. So I had a chance to put a good bag together. But anyway, long story short, I think end of day one, I was in the mid 20s. I had lost 2 really good fish. Everyone loses fish. So it all equals out. But the people that don't lose fish and execute properly, they have an advantage. So I lost 2. That would have put me like 6 or 7 inches called. So I would have been up there top 3. So I was pretty upset after day 1 because the opportunity was there. You know, Toledo Bend, you expect 100 inches to every day. You know, there's going to be people in the high 90s, 100, and it wasn't until the last, till they turned the leaderboard off, and when they turned it back on, there was a guy. No, they didn't turn it off. I'm sorry. Right before the end of submission, a guy had 92 inches. Second place was like 89. I'm like, man, the opportunity is there to win this, and I squandered it by missing those 2 fish. So I chased roamers around, fish that were moving around. Some were in bait balls. Some were in like 10 to 15 to 20 feet of water on day 1. That's what I did. I ended up with relatively low 80s on day 1, mid 20s out of like 140, 150 people. So day 2, I went to my B- spot where I knew there were some bigger fish roaming around in some schools, and there were also some hydrilla nearby where could be a big fish just chilling in there. You never know. So I was doing relatively average. Wasn't able to run in on day 2 to find my like the school of big bass, because there's a school that was like 15 to 20 fish they're all like 3-pounders, 18 to 20 inchers in there. So there's some good fish, and if you get on them, they bite right away. Like if you get a cast on them on a jerk bait, I'm in like 25 feet of water, but they'll come up and they'll swim at like 10 feet. And if you get a cast on them, they all chase your jerk bait. They all bite right away. So that happened in practice multiple times, but they didn't show up. So I'm like, man, I'm sitting there. I need to call like 8 inches. There's 30 minutes left in the event, and I'd hit this.
That's a big spread.
Yeah. I mean, see, the thing is, I'm sitting probably in like 20th. If I call 8 inches, I'm top 3.
Yeah.
So I didn't necessarily need 8 inches. I mean, I could have called
grouping, right?
You know, if I got an 18, I would have called like a 50. So I just wanted top 13 because that was the payout. Top 13. I wanted to come home with the check, kind of balance all the money I spent to go out there and do this. So
balance the checkbook, folks.
Right. So I went out there and to hydrilla, and I looked down and looked at my graph, and there's this big old fish sitting in 9 feet of water right in scattered hydrilla. I'm like, man, it was swimming kind of weird on the bottom, like kind of acting like a bass would, where it was just like not cruising through. It was just kind of like hanging out, like making like small movements. I'm like, well, it could be a bass. There's a ton of drum in here too. I caught a ton of drum. Could be a carp. So I cast down there with a dark horse tackle colored Magnum Baits reg stick.
Heck yeah.
It's a stick bait, Nico weighted with a screw from Lowe's on the end of it.
Yep.
Because I'm not paying $1 for every single Nico weight that gets tossed into the water. So on my $60 rod and reel combo, I cast down in there, and I jig it a couple. I lose it. I lose the fish because the little bit of wind and stuff, lose it, and it gets kind of tight. And so I go to reel a little bit, and I'm like, oh shoot, I think there's a fish. So I set the hook, and the fish just goes running. And I thought for sure it was like a 10-pound drum. I had it on for like a minute. I wasn't even nervous yet. You know, I didn't think it was a bass. It was just too big. Like I hadn't seen a fish that big at all weekend. So I'm reeling that sucker in, and he comes up after like probably a minute, shakes his head, and I'm like, oh my goodness. like there's literally 20 minutes to go. This is a giant, like, Seth, if you lose this fish, no one's going to believe you. You're going to be sick to your stomach for such a long time. So anyway, I worked that fish for a while, got it tired. I don't use a net either. So reached down there, lipped the bad boy, put it on the board, and it was 24 1/4. I called 9 inches,
bro.
9.25 inches with that. Put me up into what would have been 3rd place when the board was shut off.
Yep.
Ended up getting 5th. I got a cool trophy, and not a blue trophy this time. I got like one of those circular ones that 4th and 5th get. Got some money, got a nice big old check for the wall, and another top 5. So man, this one was completely different than Dale Hollow. Like Dale Hollow, I was on them. I felt like I could definitely win. This one, I was like, I think I even texted our group. I'm like, guys, if you don't see me at the top, just know that I'm actually trying. Like I'm not taking it easy out there. But somehow, man, everyone just kind of struggled, and I put some stuff together and caught a nice kicker that made up for the 2 that I missed the day before, and worked out, man. Came home with the 5th place. So
yeah, I'm so freaking proud of you. Did you grab it by the tongue? I need to know that.
Yeah, I grabbed
so
it.
Does Scott. So does
yeah. I grabbed
fishing.
it right
not
by the tongue, but right by the tongue. Yeah.
I love it.
My hands,
well, bro,
my hands are still cut up. Yeah,
you're
thank
the freaking man. You're the man. So proud of you. We need it. We'll delve. Your whole year is like insane. Wish we could spend more time there, but I got Josh over here. Probably it's in the middle of the night for him. So we're gonna bring him on, and
where's he at?
Yeah, we'll find out in a second. He's all over the world. So Josh, how's it going, brother?
What's up, Josh?
Don't got your audio.
We got visual. No audio.
No audio yet. He was in the green room and he had audio. So I'll give him a second to.
You never know with Bluetooth. Never know. Might be connected to his wife's vehicle in the garage or something.
Love it. All right, we're going to give him a second to kind of figure that out. So share with us, Seth, real quick. Yeah. I'm curious to delve in a little bit more. You missed AOI point by a catch, right?
Yeah. So I don't know exactly what place I got because they listed top 10 and I wasn't in top 10 there. They haven't updated the standings. He has sound now. Yeah. So I don't know exactly what place, but I missed it by like 30, 40 points, I think.
Yeah.
But my first event of the year, the Kissimmee event, I had a DQ'd fish on day 2 because it was a duplicate, which I didn't know. And I didn't add any other fish because I didn't really care because I was out of the money, wasn't going for AOI. So had I submitted another fish, I think I would have took home or would have been close AOI. So we'll go for it next year. We'll be serious next year and run it.
Heck yeah, we will. All right, we'll switch gears here. New fishing kayaks hitting in 2026. Now, if you guys if you've been watching my channel at all, I've done a variety of videos. Josh and I spent an incredible amount of time together. Josh, welcome to the show, brother. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing all right. And
yeah,
I'm,
what time?
I'm stateside. I'm in California. It's 5:45.
All right, there you go. Last time I was talking to him, he was like, it's in the middle of the night right now. So I'm excited to talk because we've had a lot of questions pop up on my videos, some of which you were in there answering. So thank you so much for doing that. Others, well, you can't just hang out around my videos all day long and answer questions. So this is why I wanted to have you on to talk about your new fleet of kayaks. Now, before we get there, which I know they're really juicy, this isn't your first rodeo. So people are like, why in the world would someone starting a new business come out with 6 new kayaks, 3 in different sizes, right? We'll talk about that in a minute, but share a little bit of your history. I want to hear a little bit about your history with Vibe, and to kind of bring us up to speed of why after the exit, enter into it again.
Because I'm insane. That's why.
Yeah. You got problems.
Yeah. I used to joke around back in the Vibe days of like, if there's ever a second business or something after this rodeo, I'm going to get into pillows or feathers or something that does not weigh 120 pounds that we have to load thousands of them every year. And here I am insanely doing it a second time because the mission's not done yet and we have more to offer, basically. So
give us your history a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So let's see. Jumped in. I started Vibe in 2014. Been kayak fishing since the mid 2000s. And really, when I started Vibe, back then the kayak fishing scene was really just emerging as in terms of a product, right? We had Jackson had the Kuso with the frame seat, and that really altered the landscape of fishing kayaks. And then rather quickly, in a short period of time, within like 4 or 5 years, kayak manufacturers realized really fast that the kayak industry is designed to catch anglers, right? Not fish. We've been catching fish for thousands and thousands of years. You don't exactly need the latest Ned rig or whatever to catch fish, right? We've been doing this for a long time. Right? So the fishing industry does a great job of catching anglers, and the kayak industry did just that. They like, well, hold on a second. We can take an $800 kayak and we can slam a couple of flush mount rod holders on it, called it an angler edition of the boat, and charge $1,200 for it, $1,300 for it. So in a short period of time, the middle market, that $500 to $1,000 price point for kayaks, just kind of completely evaporated. You had plenty of brands that were over 1,000, plenty of brands that were under 500, but there was no really tried, tested, true model in that like $800-900 price point back in like 2014. So my mission back then was to reinvent what that middle market should look like. Putting frame seats on boats, putting the rudder kits, putting the dry hatches and the rod holders, and designing the holes for a stable ride, but keeping it at a mid-market price. And I would say that mission worked, right? We went
You did
from
pretty good.
we did I we did I we went from 250,000 the first year to a little over 20 million by 6 years. Within 6 years, we were in
Decent.
pretty decent. Dick's Sporting Goods, Academy. We were in like 6 or 7 different countries, producing I don't know, like 50,000 kayaks a year, something like that.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a good ride. It was nonstop, and then COVID, of course, really altered the landscape for everyone. A lot of kayak brands suffered during COVID. Great for revenue, terrible for cost is what happened.
Yeah.
So we saw a lot of brands shift hands, and we see what happened with Hobie this week. They're still changing hands.
Yeah.
So it's been quite a shakeup post COVID.
Well, so you exited from Vibe, and did you take some time off before you're like, hey, let's run this thing again?
Yeah. So when I was out, I thought I was out for good, taking a hiatus. I wasn't kidding about. I mean, I was kidding about the feathers, but I wasn't kidding about the difficulties of manufacturing and distributing kayaks.
Yeah.
Look, I love the space. I've been doing it a long time. I live and breathe the water. I live and breathe kayak fishing, but the business side of it is challenging, right? It's an awkward object that nobody wants to warehouse. Nobody wants to freight it. Nobody wants to cargo it. It's a challenging object. And it's not the easiest to produce. I mean, on one hand, it's simple. It's just a bunch of stuff bolted onto a giant plastic bottle, right? If you really want to simplify it. But the tolerances on rotational molded objects at large are wide enough to drive a Mack truck through. So, dealing with the tolerances and fitting injection molded or aluminum extruded parts onto it, there's a lot of work to make a quality piece, a quality kayak, can be precise. So I took some time off, but not a whole lot of time. My OG team, the team that I worked with for designing all of the Vibe products, we got to thinking that there was a lot of ideas that we wanted to execute at Vibe, but it just didn't fit the model. Like we were the mid price, the little bit above entry, but that entry to mid price point brand. And things like the Horizon seat, or pushing the Horizon perch even further, or just completely revolutionizing the rudder system and coming up with a really responsive rudder that has a sticky tack to it, that you can do a quick release on the handle with like a large surface blade that can still actually flip up. Like all this stuff, the pricing of it it wouldn't work in that Vibe price point, that Vibe sweet spot. So we got to the drawing board and started tinkering and working up drafts within probably a few months after my exit from Vibe in late 2022, early 2023, somewhere around there.
You didn't take a break at all.
Yeah, like for me, a week is a break. It's like, oh my god, I'm actually like chilling for a week. So like, yeah. So we jumped in pretty fast and spent. I say jumped in, but it was 2 years of development. Right, these are all brand new boats from the ground up, all new parts, all new fittings. Everything required drafting and concepting and prototyping and breaking and testing and breaking it again and testing and breaking, and you get the idea. So it's been 2 years of R&D, and now we're here.
2 years of just spending money and not making any money.
A ton of money.
Oh my gosh. That sounds terrible. You're just hemorrhaging cash for 2 years straight.
Oh man, tell me about it. I'm getting goosebumps from thinking about it, man. My accountant's probably listening to this right now and being like, dude, stop the bleed. Yeah. I mean, we have close to 400 custom molds, jigs, tools, parts. Some of these, the extruded aluminum, like our quad rails, require custom bending tools. Like everything is from the ground up.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of money.
All right, so I got 4 comments over here. Then we're gonna hop into like each one of them. We're gonna walk through.
Okay.
Because one of my questions is, why start with? I think you guys have. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 6. Why start with 6 when most start with 1? Figure that out. So we'll get that in a moment. Okay, we got Keep Casting saying, "Hey, I'm loving the new Camino Journey kayaks. I'm really hoping they live up to the potential they show." There we go. You got Brock Langren said, "What's the reason behind the color choices of the new kayaks?" I'll let you answer that in a moment. Wolf of Walmart, this whole line looks amazing. And Yak Jones Fishing, I'm so stoked to get the inflatable I'm a flight attendant in New York, so I have to travel to fish. I plan on
Oh,
to fish this thing in 10 countries this winter. I need it
man,
tomorrow.
I'm with Yak Jones. So I pretty much live on airplanes. I manufacture overseas. I have a furniture company in Vietnam as well, and I pretty much live on a single, out of a carry-on suitcase. And the inflatables are for me and my travel hobbies. Like I want to fish the world, and I wanted to do it from my boats, and I want to do it from reliable craft.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Nice.
So why 6? And why the color? We'll get that answer.
Sure. Okay, so the 6, it's pretty simple. Actually, it's just economics. The At Vibe, my top 3 performing vessels, which probably made up 60-70% of my revenue, came from these first 3 that I'm launching right now. And some of these boats are, if you think about it, they're pretty old. Like the Shearwater, it hit the market in 2021. But I designed that in 2018. Most of the legwork was done in 2017. Really got some of the final prototypes done in 2018. We launched it at ICAST 2019 and hit the market in 2020. So you got 7 years of my team and I like brainstorming, like how can we improve? How can we make it better? What else can we do with it? So there's just a natural evolution to take what worked on it, keep those features, scrap everything else. And just rebuild from the ground up. So that one was just a no-brainer. So it was our flagship boat, and it had, it has a lot of room to grow, or a lot of room to improve. And then what I did different this time, the Makana at Vibe it's its own line of kind of an entry-level 10-foot boat. So this time I made it a true mini version of the Outpost 128. So it features the same horizon seat, some of the hatches, the transducer mount. It can fit a full 12-inch transducer, your triple shot transducers, versus most your kayaks that have built-in transducer mounts still don't quite fit a triple shot, right? So you have to come up with a third-party adapters and ways to retrofit it. So I did my flagship boat, re-engineered that guy, and then the Terra. So if you know me and know my fishing background, like I've always been a hybrid haul guy. I launched the Maverick and the Vibe Maverick, and I want to say that was like 2016 or so. And then 2018 made some upgrades to it, the Cabera. But I always wanted to push that one further. I got sick and tired of putting the cell block on the side, the Actac cell block, having my transducer hanging off to the side, wanting the foot pedals. Always having to do some retrofits on motor mounts. So this was just a natural progression for me because this is my go-to boat.
Yep.
So this guy, I've been wanting to put foot pedals in a hybrid hull for quite some time, and now is the time. Brand new brand. I can launch whatever I want.
I could do what I want. And then at a high level, you're a Highlander.
Yeah, and then the inflatables, of course. Like I said, I live in a carry-on suitcase. I usually get one free checked bag with me, so why not bring one of my boats with me? So I've done a 10-foot boat before. I designed the 10-foot Uptown 100 at Vibe, but I exited before the launch, so I never actually got to play with a live production model of it. But even that one saw room for improvements after before it launched. Because you got to remember, we design these boats, and then they don't hit the market for a year or two later. So, definitely found ways to improve this guy. So start off the 10-foot, and then we all know that your 12-foot boat is your most common requested kayak length for fishermen. So why stop at the 10-foot? Let's just go ahead and make a 12-foot, which is going to be higher demand, more space, more cargo. And then the tandem, because, people out there still think divorce boats are a good idea. So I just made it for them.
There you go. And you get 2 drives. I love it. All right. So let's go ahead and let's take a deep dive. And since I love the Outpost, I think out of all of these, most.
They're sharp, man.
Thank you.
They're sharp.
Let's go over here and just have you walk the folks through this bad boy. And as you're talking,
man, that looks like it'll win some derbs, Darren.
I love it. This thing's juicy. Now, granted, I think you put everything you possibly could on this just to show off that it could.
My slogan on this boat is we're not saying you should, we're saying you can.
I love it. I love it. Also, if you got a question for Josh as we're going through this, I am watching those. So if you're like, hey, I got a specific question about the thing he just said. Throw that over there. I will star it and we'll circle back to it. All right, Josh, walk us through your baby.
Yeah, real quick. I just saw Bart Foster, real quick, a comment pop up here about his stolen Seaghost 130. Bro, that sucks, man. That's an OG boat. I launched a vibe on that boat. The Seaghost 130 is what kicked off my whole shindig in the kayak making space. Sucks that I got stolen, bro.
Ah.
All right, man. A walkthrough. We did like an hour long.
We did a walkthrough. However, some people watch my videos, some people don't. Some people just show up to live because they want to interact with you.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, see, Seth don't watch my crap, and we're really great friends. He's too busy winning over here.
Yeah, he's like, man, I got my nose to the water, rod in hand. I got tournaments to win. Yeah, we'll catch up on the new toys later.
Dude, I had a photographer around me both days of the event. Never saw them once, and saw my pictures online. I'm like, where was the photographer at? Because I'm like focusing.
Man, in the zone.
Yeah, that's right. Go for it, man.
Yeah.
See it.
Man, so where to begin on this boat? So this would be in what I would call the battleship genre of fishing kayaks. It's not going to be your large oversized boats, like your XTRs or your Hobie Pro Anglers. It's going to be more in the Outback size, your shearwater size. And the reason I started with that instead of doing a big boat, we do have some big boats on the docket for 2026 or 2027. But again, I can start with boats that I want to use. And me personally, I have places to go and it's not by the boat ramp. I tend to pedal hard and go the distance. So I wanted to start with what is the most efficient boat on the water, not the boat that can hold the most stuff or the boat that's the fastest, but the most like well-rounded boat that can, go the distance. So it's 35 inches wide, 12 foot, 8 inches long. But I still am doing a tapered off stern on it, as opposed to like the box sterns, which are more, trending a little bit heavier for, your gear junkies today. You can kind of see in that shot where, my stern tapers off. So I get some good water flow off the back end. So it stays fast and efficient. Did modifications to the hull. So the shearwater has a very sharp keel. That boat was designed to go straight and go far, but it doesn't turn. Like it's some work to turn it because that sharp keel. So this go around, we went with a more bulbous hull, which you should be able to see it in the yellow shots. If you scroll down a little bit,
yellow shots.
Scroll down below.
Go.
I think one of these might show the bow, maybe, or making that up. Maybe over again. Oh, maybe I just made that up. I thought I had a shot on there. So anyway, we went with a more bulbous bow on it. So it's designed to go over swells and over a chop a lot better. And when I say a lot better is kind of a loose it's more a subjective thing. So I don't care if I get wet. I'm an offshore guy, so I'm always, my preferred fishing is, I'm chasing, sails and wahoo, king mackerel. I'm going to eat a 2 to 4 foot wave on my way out anyway. I'm going to get wet. So I don't care if I'm wet in a kayak. So I typically keep my my gunnels shallow to prevent to cut down on wind drift. Last thing I hate the thing I hate most is when I get out to my spot and the wind picks up and I'm just constantly pushed off my spot. So anything I can do to reduce that wind profile goes a long way. So I keep my on the shearwater, that bow is very sharp, and when you hit chop, it goes through it. You're not going to bounce over it. You're going to slice through it. You're going to eat all that water. But we designed boats to drain really fast, and it just keeps you moving. So this boat, it'll be probably a hair bit slower with that bulbous nose, but now it's going to ride over the chop instead of slicing through it. So it'll be a drier ride. That was one thing I heard a lot about with the shearwater is people are like, hey, we hear you on the efficiency of slicing through chop, but we still want a dryer boat. So gave him a dryer boat here.
There you go.
I mean,
I'm gonna click through these. I'm gonna click through these photos, and I'm getting a bunch of questions. I'm kind of keeping them. So let's go ahead and just walk through at a high level what we're looking at.
Clean. Like everything looks so clean on it and sharp. It's so cool.
It's almost like he's done this before.
Yeah. Like you know what you're doing.
Thank you. So on the bow here, you've got a bow trolling motor mount. That bolt pattern is. I get this question a lot. That is not a power pole bolt pattern. That is a Minn Kota quick release bolt pattern up there. So if you want to put something other than a Minn Kota, you'll probably need to put an adapter on there. Yak Hobby might have adapters that fit the Minn Kota power plate, quick release plate. If not, I'm sure he'll make one pretty soon. Or it's a pretty easy starboard DIY mount. Yeah, so Minn Kota quick release plate. You've got your power plate just behind there for wiring. That's a very thick reinforced fiberglass reinforced nylon plate that you can put your switches or your through hull wiring kits. Just drill into that instead of the boat. There's 3 of those on the boat, one there, one just behind the seat, and one on the stern at the end of the rear tank well for running all your wires. And then rod tip protectors. So for me, back to the offshore thing, it's funny because I get comments sometimes. We did some silly, fun videos where we showed like the 11 different places you can put rods on these boats. And some people are commenting like very literally, like, if you need that many rods, like, bro. It's not about bringing 11 rods with you. It's about having 11 spots to put rods based on the conditions you're fishing. So for me as an offshore guy, I need 4 rods with me at all times. I bring a sabiki rig for jigging up live bait. I bring a free line, I bring a down line, and I bring a casting rod to throw a topwater plug or something at something busting bait on the surface. And when you're going through the surf, it doesn't matter how good you are, how long you've been doing this. There's always a risk of rolling in the surf. So having a place to store my rods horizontally when I'm breaking through the surf is an absolute must. So that is the rod tip protector for your horizontal rod stagers. So if and when you eventually roll in the surf, you're not snapping off, a grand worth of rod tips.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, moving to the cockpit.
So now you've got your mounting collar right there, or mounting plate. That's a plug if you don't need a foot pedal drive. Those 6 bolts remove, and collar mounts for the Traverse pedal drive. Or we also have a fin drive adapter if you have a Hobie MD180 or one of the off brands, an old Vibe drive. We do have a fin drive adapter. Yeah. So anybody who's used my boats before know that I used to have a quick release pod that goes in there using 3 latches. I moved away from the quick release pods. Not a lot of people, if anyone, is switching between prop and fin drive regularly. So these are now bolted in drive mounts. And that's because I got tired of the play and slosh I had from the pod. So when you have a rotational molded pod inside of a rotational molded hull, that just doubles up the amount of slack or play that you have because of the expansion of the pods. So I found that the drive like wobbles too much and there's too much play. So I went with a really heavy duty bolted in mount. And now it's just, now when you move the drive, it moves the whole boat. You don't have that additional slop in there.
Nice. All right. Anything else here you want to talk? Oh, you didn't talk about this. What's under here?
That is the electronics console. So we've all seen smaller electronics boxes or electronics pods on kayaks before. I had one on the Shearwater. But look, man, it's 2025, dude. We're like putting all sorts of electronics on our boats nowadays, a lot more than what your little like 10 or 20 amp hour batteries can do. So we have a full size battery box here. That box, your transducer, your 12-inch transducer, up to 12-inch transducer can fit to the bottom of that. You run your wires to the top. This comes with the through hull wiring kit pre-installed. So this is a true waterproof, no need to drill, no need to DIY hack. You bolt right on and go. Like I could not stand the fact that I don't know why everyone still does this. Like you buy this really nice kayak with a waterproof electronics pod, and then you have to drill holes into it and then silicone it and re-waterproof it. Just never made any sense to me.
Yeah. You got Ketchum King. Now that's solid.
Yep.
Huge selling point. I love it. Bart Foster saying those rod protectors would be good on the river as well.
Oh, yeah. For sure, man. For sure. We've all definitely have left a rod or two hanging in a tree before.
I think I do it every single time. Oh, we got a bunch of feedback over here before we continue to moving down this boat, which I'm loving. By the way, Josh, we did talk for 2.5 hours, but you were saying a whole lot of new stuff that we didn't talk about in the videos. So,
okay,
it's almost like if you go watch those videos again, you're gonna get like 2 different It's interesting.
Yeah.
I like it. Also, I ran you for almost 3 hours, so you're probably a little tired too. So so this is good. This is really good. All right. So some of the comments we have over here. Wolf of Walmart wants to know if you're documenting this whole journey. That would be amazing.
Man, I wish. I thought about it. 2 years too late.
Yeah. I love it. You got Fish Forge Off-Road, which is Trevor, which he was on last week. He said, why all the land-based names for kayaks?
The irony. I thought it'd be fun.
Love it. It didn't even cross my mind. So thanks for going pretty deep.
Actually, we can push a little bit further. So the Highlander series, each of those, the graphics on it are really well-known water destinations and cities in the U.S. So each one has a map on it, and if anybody can figure out which cities and locations are, then you win the bragging rights of this comment.
Congratulations! Here's your round of applause. Hope you enjoy that. Yeah, I love it. The Angry Angler. This is a good one. We'll kind of go. I'll let you talk about this a little bit. What sets your kayaks apart from the field?
I mean, go to the bullet point list bow to stern, right? It's I don't even know where to begin on that one. I would say some big things would be the seat. Look at the Horizon Pro seat. Look at the overall fit and finish. What we've done is really focused on the modularity of how you fish, meaning everyone fishes differently. So we are really cutting into the amount of DIY hacks that you have to do, how many holes you have to drill in your boat. If you want a bow motor or stern motor or center pod motor, if you want fin drive, prop drive, if you want to sit 15 inches off the deck, or if you want to sit low, if you are a sight fisherman and want to stand on the perch and chase tarpon or tailing reds, all of that is like built into this boat without you having to do a ton of DIY research and hacks and cutting starboard and whatever. It's extremely modular and modifiable for your style of fishing.
Yeah, I love it. I think that question was a little. I appreciate the question a little early, because you'll see by the end of this podcast what kind of separates these kayaks from the rest of the market. I think this might be the most important question of the night, coming from the Wolf of Walmart. Are we going to see Darren in one of these soon?
Soon.
Please say yes. So thank you.
Keyword is soon.
Soon.
So
soonish.
We'll skip into the behind the scenes stuff a little bit. So we are on track for dealer delivery in March. We are in production right now, and we talk on our website a little bit about the early access inventory and its mythical arrival date. Mythical meaning, look, I've been making kayaks for 10 years, right? So all the boats, every product that we've made in the past, we know all the choke points, all the hiccups that could possibly happen with it, all the solutions. So all those are applied to this new production line. But remember, there are close to 400 new parts, molds, tools. There's close to 1,200 unique individual pieces and parts that are on these 6 boats. And if any one of them is misaligned or out of whack, that slows the production time frame. So we don't know what we don't know. So we're on track. The March delivery gives us 2 months of CYA in production. And if everything goes off without a hitch, then we could have Darren in a boat early December. But let's be realistic here. Nothing going wrong with 1,300 parts, and there ain't no way, dude.
No,
there is no way.
I'm gonna pray that sucker right here to Canton, Ohio. It's coming. It's coming. The second the best question of the night is, please send Seth one so he can finally get out of that hobby. Hey yo, thank you, Colin B. Basson. I appreciate that.
Yeah, never say never. Never say never. Who knows? Who knows where I'll end up.
Seth, what are you in right now?
A PA-12.
I see. The PA is a different beast, though. That'd be like, we have all the peripherals and features, but it's like going from a Toyota Tundra to a Toyota Tacoma, right?
Yeah.
It'd be like going from a base model Tundra to the top of the line Tacoma, which you get all the bells and whistles, but it's gonna feel like a compact ride.
Well, what my wife wants my kayak, and she wants my graph too. She wants to go out there. She wants my 12-inch graph. She told me the other day, she's like, I need you to get a new kayak so I can just have yours and start scoping with your graph. I'm like, You're just going to take my kayak? What am I going to go to? I don't know where to go to. Who knows? But yeah. Never say never. Who knows what I'll be in?
You keep winning those
Maybe
Bassmasters. They'll start showing up at your house some one of these days. Promise you.
Yeah, I know.
Promise you. I love it. All right, we're going to head back here. Let's go walk through some more features for this bad boy. Richard Ian Carpenter says, I like the Outpost. If I had to replace my current kayak, it would be at the top of the list. Utopia Outdoorsman says, loves the modularity and thought that went into this. It went to avoid drilling and workarounds. So far, you're winning hearts and minds, Josh. We got 52 people live right now listening in.
There we go.
If you've done so, hit the like button, get some extra yardage out of this bad boy. But back to the fun. Let's head back to the Outpost 128 PDL, the seat. Look at that beast.
Holy smokes. I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, do we need to really say anything more?
I don't even know what I'm looking at.
Legit.
Yeah. Oh, there's other I'm gonna go. You talk about it. I'm gonna go find the seat.
Yeah, you gotta scroll down. Scroll down.
I could totally see me sight fishing for bass on beds with that in the spring.
If you go, oh yeah, there you go.
All right, walk us through.
Okay, so a whole bunch of things here. So obviously your high-low positions, that's a big one, and then being able to change your recumbent position. Different leg length, different height of people. It goes a long way. It's like when you spend a long time on the water. And Seth, you've got that on the Pro Angler with the Vantage seat. The ability to change that angle. Now, I don't know how long you've had your boat. Not to knock out. I love their boats, but enough water drying cycles, especially if it's saltwater drying cycles on a Vantage seat, that rope will seize up on the handles.
Yeah,
and it gets tight to adjust it again. So this is just a different solution to that same function, where now we can do that without having to worry about rope seizing or dry rotting or seizing to the handles or within the winding mechanism. But for me, I introduced the perch on my boats back, I want to say it was like 2017 or 2018. So that seat perch is just I hate using the cliche game changer, because it's been almost 10 years since I did a perch. But it's a game changer. When you spend a long time on the water, not even standing on it, like not everyone has the sea legs to stand on a kayak, let alone climb up on this perch and stand on it. But just being able to sit on it, I mean, dude, imagine your shots when you're, hitting laydowns or, structure and skipping underneath docks, getting a much better side angle cast and better visibility just from sitting on it and being able to stretch your lower back, get out of that seat for a minute. I would say probably 90% of my fishing, once I get to my spot, I'm sitting on that perch and not actually in the kayak seat. And then for those of us that do have good sea legs, of course, if I need to sight fish and really, hunt down those tailing reds or some poons somewhere, it's I can stand up there and take my shots from up there.
Yeah.
Now, a big difference that I did with this perch versus my old perch at Vibe. This perch, one thing that I found is the few times that I do stand on the perch, I get all the way up there and then I realize, like, crap, the rod I need is down there and I got to go get it. So now there are gear tracks that go all the way around the perch. So I can put my rod holders directly on the perch. So I have a place to store them while I'm standing up there. And the other thing that sometimes when I'm moving locations where I'm sitting on the perch and I'm moving from one spot to the next, I don't want to get all the way back down to the seat, I'm not going far. The ability to move the steering handle up to the perch. So there's a rail right there that you're circling right now, right there, Darren. But then the rod holder, which is being blocked by the rod, or there's a gear track on the side. You can move the steering handle all the way up to the perch. So you can just stay up there like all day if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think there's too many of those out there, Darren.
No, there's not. There's not. There's a lot on this kayak that I really love.
And for anybody who's running my old legacy boats, I did make these Horizon perches that have the gear tracks on it. It is backwards compatible with all my old perch mounted seats. So you can put these new perches on any Vibe boat.
Well, there you go. And you got a little pull-out tray.
Yep. This time the drawer is completely removable. Before it was a drawer that was on sliders, but when it jumps to sliders, it was a pain to get back in. And then because it was a drawer, it limited your access to the back half. And I'm sure you guys have been here before where you have that 12-inch rat bass that jumps the hook and flops underneath your seat. And you got to go chase it. And you got that drawer in the way. Now you can just pull the whole drawer out.
Get over here. I like it. And that's up off the floor, right? So it's not sitting in water.
Yeah, there's like a centimeter or like a half centimeter tracks underneath molded into the bottom of the drawer,
Right,
so it sits off.
Yep. And these are just if you wanted to put your rod button there, correct?
Yep, correct.
I love it. All right, let's keep on moving down the line. What are we looking at?
That would be how you secure your horizontal rods and the horizontal rod stators.
What would you put in here? This quarter 20.
Good eye. That is if you're putting the quad rail, the full length quad rail handrails on the side. That's a place to mount the center mounting post.
Got it. We'll get to that in just a moment. You're like, what in the world are quad rails?
Right.
Keep on moving.
A little thing on the shearwater, the rods would cover the cup holder. So change all the measurements to be able to have your a 7-foot rod still clear the cup holder.
There it is. All right. Talk about your handles, because they're not just a plastic hard handle. You've actually molded rubber.
Yeah, it's two parts. It's a rubber injected and fiberglass reinforced nylon. 2-part. It's fused together, so you don't have the issue of the rubber separating from it. It is bonded together on the inside, so that rubber gives you that nice soft grip on the bottom, and it's a real fat grip handle. Stupid comfortable. You won't know it until you try it, but it's handles are important to me. You carry thousands of kayaks a year in the industry, and you just get tired of carrying your own stuff. So you're always figuring out how to improve the handles. I mean, that comfort point, that's the first thing you touch on a kayak. It's the first thing you're going to actually really, honestly, you're going to experience your kayak handle more than any other part of your boat. That is the thing that is going to, it's going to leave an impression, and hopefully it's a good one.
Yeah, right. I like that. And the yellow is the rubber, right? And you can't see it, but that thin line under here is going to be all rubberized underneath.
That's right.
The underside.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, let's move on. What are we looking at here? So this is going to be.
So I went back and forth on the design stage. We went back and forth on doing the underseat battery box. There's some boats that have a built-in a hull battery storage. But I find that cuts into usable storage space inside the hull, and it limits the size of battery you can do. So I just went with the good old-fashioned external battery box spot, but then I added in battery tie-down spots, and it comes with the 1-inch battery box tie-down. So you can do any external battery box. We'll just strap in right there.
I like it. Anything else in this picture before we move on to the next?
Yeah, scuppers.
Scuppers.
Yep, it's a good old scuppers. Now, is that going to throw off the battery box sitting on top of that? Is it going to be unequal?
Nah.
Is it going to equal with the padding?
If the kayak does what it's supposed to do, the first thing you do is you take the scupper plugs out, throw them away, never use them again.
I love it.
The only time I put scupper plugs in my boat is when I'm sabiking up live bait offshore, because nothing pisses you off more than jigging up a stringer full of cigar minnows and they jump the hook and go right out the scupper. Oh, God, it sucks.
Love it. All right. Walk us through your design, because I see a lot of rod holders already built into this bad boy, more than I've ever seen on a kayak before.
Yeah, so you get the 4 flush mount rod holders in the back. Small but important details to me is these are all parallel to the boat. Most boats, and I did it when I first started in 2014, 2015, those old Seaghosts, the rods would stick out, they flare out a little bit, which every time you come up next to somebody else's kayak and you get the rods tangling up and colliding, I can't stand that, man. I can't stand that. So so mine are all straight in line, so you can have 2 or 3 boats next to each other, not going to collide. And then the furthest back set are they're tilted back, so they actually sit like one sits like this, the other one sits at a lower angle.
Okay.
Again, if you're coming up against trees or some low hanging structure, it helps. Just a place to just quickly put it. To keep it out of the way. And then you've got your anchor chutes here. So we have a place, and it comes pre-plumbed. So if you're using an Anchor Wizard or Yak Attack's new, which by the way, they sent me one of the prototypes. I think is fire.
Oh,
The
nice.
new Yak Attack. I forgot the drop shot, drop anchor,
something. Yeah.
drop something. Man, that thing's sick. I love it, and I love the fact that you can change the angle of it, like on a mount. Because sometimes it's when you mount it like flat on a rail, it's hitting your leg or something. So they have like a way to tilt it. That thing's awesome.
100%.
So these boats come pre-plumbed for running a anchor chain or anchor to the back, and you have 3 different power pole mount locations here, 2 on the side. Now that center one is where the rudder mounts. So our rudder system mounts to a center power pole bolt pattern that just makes it just opens up the doors for possibilities, like for us at least. If you want to put a center anchor power pole back there, or a motor, Bixby, or yeah, you get the idea. Tons of motor mounts fit that pattern. And so the power pole mounts on the side, your anchors will run underneath the power pole when it's mounted on.
Got it. Then you got another power plate back here. You can't really see it because it's.
Yep.
All right. And these are all your tie downs for the bungees for your crate. What fits in the back of this when it comes to a Yak Attack crate?
16 by 16 crate fits.
Okay. You got a big one, even with the tether tubes.
Yep. And yep, with the tether tubes now, to be safe, what I do is I mount the tether tubes instead of using
Higher.
all 3 of them. Yeah, I mount it a little bit higher. Gives a little bit more breathing room against the gunnels. And those thicker black hooks that you see back there. So I went with a external steering handle mounting solution. So what that external steering handle does, first of all, installing a steering handle on our boat, if you are slow and it's your first time, it should take you about 30 seconds to do a perfect install of a steering handle.
Okay.
My bragging rights, I'd like to tell you, I have popped off at 12 seconds, but my average is 17 seconds because I'm yeah, so it's a quick release steering handle. It snaps onto the rudder, and it has 0 play. It has a sticky tacking, and it can be swapped from left to right. So you can see it in this shot here, actually.
Which one?
Right there. Back to another one. One
All right.
more. Maybe one more. Oh, well, we'll find it again eventually.
Where's that? I thought it was right there. Oh well.
Oh well, we'll find it again.
All right, that's it for this one, right? There's nothing. We're to the back of the boat now. Now that you keep showing a battery box, that doesn't come with it, right? You're just showing off.
Yeah, just showing that it can.
All right, then of course you got your water drain valve. All right, anything else?
In a place that you can actually fully drain your boat. By the way, it's amazing how many manufacturers don't put those in a place that fully drains your boat.
Yeah.
Or below the water line.
Yeah,
like
that's a great one too.
Like Seth's kayak. Isn't your drain valve below the water line?
Yeah, it's
on your Hobie.
Back there at the bottom. Better make sure they're in.
There you go. All right, so walk us through a couple things, and we've only gone through one. Of course, you have the 12.8, you have the 10-footer on the PDL Pro.
Yep.
And the colors you have are going to be driftwood blue. You got your carbon gray, and then your seagrass yellow. Why this color pattern? I'm curious. We had to actually that question early on too.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. You have a stealthy color, you have a cool color, and you have a safety color.
There you go. All right.
Keeping it simple.
All right, so your pricing structure isn't it's interesting because we just talked about the kayak. However, you have an insert for the pedal drive, and so which is a traverse drive. It's a pedal drive, and so
right.
Let's walk through the pedal drive because I'm a big, massive pedal drive fan, and we talked actually have a whole video about your pedal drive system. So walk us through because there's going to be a new pedal drive system hitting the market. Walk us through your methods of the madness. Why bring another pedal drive to the market?
The reason I brought a new pedal drive, there's a couple of reasons, but number one, the fin drive. Well, I'm going to pause on the fin drive for a second. I used to make one at Vibe. There's plenty of people who are using that expired, Hobie patent. You have the Hobie MD180, but it's a universal size. It's a universal socket. So it's pretty easy to make a mounting plate or a mounting point to be able to fit a universally accepted size. With pedal drives, every brand has a different size. Every brand has a different thing. Personally, my focus is on the hauls. So for this go round on the drive, we partner with a leading manufacturer of bikes and e-bikes. So rather than like have us, water sports, paddle sports guy pretend to, figure out, how gears work and how to build a drive, we just partnered with a global leader in making cycles. So, and we had to, because we couldn't just like partner with somebody else and use a universal, mounting point, because it doesn't exist. So for us, this go round, I wanted to address some certain things that bothered me with the existing drives on the market. One being weight. Again, because I'm a distance guy, I'm designing boats to go places, which also means I'm an ounce counter. I don't bring the entire kitchen sink. I don't bring, 15 tackle trays and, all the things that I might use all year long on a single fishing trip. I do my homework, I plan, I build out my trays for what I'm doing that day. And so ounces matter, especially when you're, pedaling, 3, 4, 5 miles on a single trip offshore or something. So currently, your cast aluminum drives are in the 24-pound range for a cast aluminum pedal drive.
Yep.
Your Hobie MD180, it comes in at a cool 7.5 pounds, super nice. But nobody has a solid foot pedal drive that's cutting into that weight issue. So our drives are landing in at about 12.5 pounds,
right in the middle,
and it's a combination of, and we talked extensively about switching from a nylon, fiberglass reinforced nylon casing to a stamped aluminum case. So our head unit is a stamped aluminum case. It's an extruded aluminum shaft. It's an aluminum, a fin on the bottom. And we're doing what we can to minimize the weight on it while keeping the structural integrity and the rigidity of a drive. And you can tell from the holes here, we did keep in mind servicing it. So, pulling apart the lower unit is, those bolts right there. It's a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the bottom. The top is, I think there is 2 more. So there's 6 on the top now with the new aluminum case. So that was one, shaving weight. Number 2 is play. I wanted to make sure, I wanted to remove all the play that I could possibly remove out of the drive. So currently your ones that have the bar on the front and the drive, flips over the front, there's lateral play in those drives. So we worked really hard on cutting down on that lateral play. I wanted to make sure that we had an indexing feature on the propeller, because, when you're cruising into that oyster bar, about to hit the ramp or a log or lay down or something, that work to get the drive up and line the prop, just kill me. Just kill me. It is so frustrating, dude. So frustrating. I wanted to make the indexing really easy and something that doesn't cause drag. So like there are ones that have like a big plate that you slide the big plate down. Ours has a cool little latch on the side of the crank that you turn it and it locks the cranks in position vertically. And then of course, being able to lift it up and tilt it all the way forward. In this shot, we have 2 different positions. This is in the 45 degree where it'll lock that way, but it can actually lay completely flat on your hybrid hulls, your inflatables. You can get it completely flat, which helps out a lot when you're busting through the surf.
Yeah, I like it. All right, if you guys have questions for Josh, go and throw those in the comment section. We're going to keep on rolling through. Go ahead, Josh. Sorry, I interrupted you.
And then we added the there's shots somewhere showing the rod stager. There's a rod stager on the drive, because the other thing that kills me is, when I'm pedaling around and I'm moving, and this doesn't matter if you're a fin drive or a prop drive, but you've got a rod in hand and you're trying to do something, or you have a fish on, you're landing the fish, and you want a place to put the rod. Well, if you lay it down on your drive, but that crank was just a current and drift, your crank is still turning a little bit. It's going to tie up your rod. You put your rods at risk. So we have a really cool rod stager in the middle of the drive, so you can be completely hands-free and still use the drive with your rod in front of you ready to go. And
that's the first time you've ever seen that, because you're the first one to bring it to market, correct?
That's correct.
I like it. So this is a 1/4-20 on top. What's this? I see 2 holes up here. What is this on the top of the drive?
One of it is for servicing, for for putting lubricant inside the head unit, and the other one is for a camera mount for us, because if it's on a camera, it didn't count. You know how it goes.
Yeah, 100%. All right. I like it. All right, let's keep on moving along. I moved over here. So let's talk about pricing and some of the actually additional upgrades you can make to this, because you could buy the base, just the kayak that we walked through. However, there's all kinds of other things you can add to it if you like. So this is one of those modular kayaks. You're like, hey, I can't afford the pedal drive yet. Can't get the quad rails. Can't get this, can't get that. But you can start somewhere, then over time, build on it. So walk us through your pricing structure and kind of talk through some of we talked about this. I know about it. Is some people are kind of getting maybe a little bit confused on how it works. So Josh, take it away.
Sure. So the base model, $2,099. You add when you buy the foot pedal drive with the boat, there's a $300 savings. So it comes in at $29.99 for the boat with the traverse drive, which is pretty much the standard for a 12.5 to 13 foot boat in this class. 3,000 is about the average price point. Difference is you get the Horizon seat, you get all the hatches, you get the hatch liners. You just get a lot more boat for the same price. Let's see. You can add quad rails to it. The quad rails would be the hand rails along the side.
I kind of love these things. Talk about these a little bit more, because I think these look freaking sweet.
Yeah, so those are extruded aluminum, T-slotted rails. This is in this application, there's 2 mounts, but there's actually 3 mounts on the longer rails. We keyed in slots on the side, so you don't have to like remove everything, or there are other command bars out there. You have to remove the end caps and slide in one at a time, and that's really frustrating to me. So you can truly just slide anything where you want. These shots are a little bit older. Our prototypes here, we had done some industrial printing of the logo and a measuring device on the. Obviously, you're not going to win a tournament. These are not tournament, but to have a quick place to cut measurements is really helpful. So I changed that out for talking about expenses and costs. I bought a laser etching machine, so this is now laser etched and not printed,
nice.
and it's on both sides, the front and the back. Because I realized one side's plenty, but then when I'm like standing next to the boat rigging and my measuring device is on the inside, I'm trying to like cut cord and measure lengths. I'm like, dang it, I want that measuring device on the outside too. So now we have the measuring device on both the inside and outside, and it's a laser etched, so it's not going anywhere ever. I
got a question.
Sure.
And it's kind of like a product. Go back 1, 2 now. Too far. Keep going. No, other way. Yeah. I need to see like an overview of the rail. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So maybe a product in the future, not that I know anything about this, but a problem a lot of people have, including myself every once in a while, is when you're measuring a fish and the darn thing like jumps off the side of your gunnel, and you always have like a net there to try to catch it. But if there was like some attachment that like lays flush with the rail that you could like pull up,
like a shield.
Yeah, like a shield. Yeah. So if that fish goes to jump, it pops right into that, and you never lose a fish jumping. But like some shield or something that it just lays flush, pull that sucker up when you have a fish, and it'll be right there when it wiggles. So I've always thought about that. I'm like, dude, I needed just like a big sheet of something right there. So anyhow.
That's interesting. I'm gonna write it down for funsies.
Yeah.
I'll second that emotion, because if you ever lost a big fish over the side after it jumps off your net, that's something jumps out of your measuring board, your catch board.
And everyone, and even if it like every single person I know that uses a net puts their net right there to try to do what this would do, like protect it and have it jump into it.
Yeah.
All I ask is you put like ST or something in the name. I brought it up.
The ST shield.
I love it. I love it.
Anyway, sorry to interject.
No, that's interesting. I'd have to think that one through a bit. Cause I'm just thinking from a product standpoint, universal, like what's the most right? Obviously on my quad rails, easy peasy for sure.
Yeah, you can attach something. Attachment.
H rails, H rails will have to have adapters. And that's also another thing like with the quad rails is like H rails are dope, but you have to put an adapter to mount anything to it. Yeah. That's kind of it's a great, frustrating proprietary add-on. All right.
Yeah.
The shield. Got it.
I love it. I know a lot of guys and girls would probably buy that bad boy. All right, sorry. Back to pricing. All right, we're just going through some of the things that you can add onto it. So let's head back to the 128 Pro. We talked about the Traverse, the Quad. Is this
That's the perch. That's adding the seat perch,
got it?
which to me is an absolute must. I mean, and this time I actually put the word seat in it. I don't know if that's still enough. We talked about it before. A lot of people think like, oh, well, I'll never stand on it. It's not for standing. It's for those of us that can stand, we do, but it's not for standing. It's for saving your back and better sight casting.
There you go. So
yeah, so
go ahead.
Yeah, so the base $3,000. Like I said, right in line with other pedal drives, but if you really go bow to stern and see what you get, it's apples and oranges. Like we built a lot into this boat.
Mhm.
So talk about, you didn't talk about it yet, and I only know because I've talked to you for 3 hours about these bad boys. Talk about the plastics that you use because it's not typical plastics.
Sure. I mean, there's plenty of different types of polyethylene. We're using, so for those of you who don't know, I do manufacture in China, which, let the comments begin on that one. But the resin that we get in China just doesn't meet the standards that we're looking for in our hulls. So typically speaking, most of your China Alibaba imports or whatever, they're using an LLDPE, a linear low density polyethylene, which is basically the same thing as your ham containers that you get from the grocery store. And that's also why those boats are a lot thicker and heavier. Usually they're in the 7 to 8 millimeter thick hulls because you have to use a lot more material in order to get the rigidity, to emulate the rigidity of a true high density polyethylene. So we actually import all of our material into China because we just can't get the quality that we want there. And the material it allows us to make our boats about 10 to 12% lighter. The hulls now, you won't actually see the weight savings, as an end user because we took 12 pounds off and we put 12 pounds of hatches back onto it, right?
Yeah.
Like we use that extra weight savings. But what you get is a much stronger tensile strength, a much stronger elongation strength. So it doesn't, you're not going to scar. I mean, it's like, before I disclaimer here, when I say you're not going to scar it as easily, you know how a kayak is. You're going to buy this brand new shiny thing. The first time you dig to the boat ramp, it's going to look like you took a cheese grater down the side of it, right? That's just the nature of plastic. But the difference between an LLDPE and a true performance HDPE is night and day. So you have much stronger surface strength, much stronger rigidity in the plastic. And then when you're mixing your formulas, you're always deciding, and there's applications for both, but you're deciding on, do I want my kayak to bend or do I want it to crack? Those are the choices. Like, depending on your formulas and how you mix it, let's say I'm, planning on hitting a whole bunch of structure and being really rough and tumble, and you want it to have some kind of pliability to it, so it's more prone to denting. Or do you want it to be super stiff, like standing on a dock, and then when you hit a tree going down a river or a rock going down a river, it'll crack, right? So you play those formulas. But we're using, like I said, a high-end imported, also expensive. Also, my accountant hating me because of how much we're bleeding on material.
So got a couple questions.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, finish your thought there.
No, I thought I had a note here on like how much tonnage of material that we just brought in. I'm trying to find that. I don't have it here. I thought I had it in front of me.
No, it's all right. If you haven't done so, we have 60 live right now. Thank you so much for listening in. If you haven't done so, hit the like button. If you're like, hey, where are all these comments coming into? Most of them are coming in through YouTube. So if you're over on Instagram or Facebook, head over to Wendell Fishing YouTube, hit the live button. And that's where a lot of these comments are sitting. Got a question in here from Richard Ian Carpenter. Question for you, Josh. Why is the smaller outpost 10 feet long? Why not 11?
I don't know. For the same reason 12.8 is 12.8, not 13.8. It's I don't know. I did really well with the Makana 100. It's a good size. It's compact. There's not really, it's not like I excluded 11 foot to do 10 foot. It was just, it's a size that I'm familiar with, that we've, sold tens of thousands of boats in that range before.
There you go. Well, yeah, like you said, I don't know, Richard, if you're here at the beginning of the show, he kind of modeled. I asked him why he's bringing to market 3 new kayaks and 6 total with the length differentiation. And it was like, hey, these are the ones that have been successful for me when I was selling at Vibe. So like, hey, this is where we'll start with Camino Journey. So I love it. This question comes in from CJ. Josh, are there any upcoming videos on these kayaks on the water before they launch?
Yes, that's a fun one actually, and some fun stories here. Story time? Are we good for story time? All right.
Yeah, always.
Okay, so 10 years of, actually more like 11 or 12 years now of kayak making. We've done so many on the water shoots, photo shoots, big production crews, just friends hanging on the water. We've done years of testing of these boats, but the reason why you don't see the behind the scenes on the water stuff is like, I don't want to show, hey, here's the finished hull, but here's the Jankers 3D printed, rudder or something, or here's the plastic box we use for a seat because we're not done designing the seat, so everything goes through phases. Now, I did an experiment, like I already mentioned, we manufacture in China. So I've always done my photo shoots in North America, pretty much everywhere, Georgia, Florida, California, Texas. Because we are in the past, when we do new models, we put prototypes on a container and we send it to our warehouse, and it just gets mixed in with our, other photo shoots and product shoots with the marketing team.
Mm-hmm.
Well, these boats are all existing on the other side of the world right now. So to get final production ready boats that we could shoot requires, us waiting until March. So the story time here is last month, August, late July and into August, I was like, I'll just do a photo shoot in China, first time, why not? I've done hundreds of these. It shouldn't be a big deal. I do know Bassmasters anglers that live in China. One's a Canadian guy, the other guy's a South African guy. So I got guys that love to fish, that know boats, they know kayaks. So we'll just go out and we'll do this shoot. We'll get a video photo crew over there to bang this thing out. Turns out it royally sucked.
Why is that?
Like, man. So I guess I took for granted or didn't quite realize when we do these shoots in the US, and I've got, employees and staff and my marketing team and my photographer and videographer who've been shooting kayaks for a decade, and field staff, pro staff, everybody on set, or in the shoot knows how to fish, knows how to kayak fish, knows kayaks, knows how to rig them, knows how to use a Yak Attack rod holder, knows how to use a Yak Attack black pack. Like, they know this stuff. Well, you do this shoot and you're the only person who knows how any of this stuff works, and it's a brand new product and there's some prototype pieces on it. And so you have to be the one that's fixing everything, rigging everything, teaching how everything works. And on top of that, it was 96 degrees with a feels like 116 degrees index. It was brutal, absolutely brutal. So we do have on the water content finally shot. It's taking our team some time to edit it. And then when this first production run is done, this early access inventory that we're working on now, we're sending a container to Costa Rica. We're going to do a really fire rooster tail fish hunt, tarpon hunt, doing some big game. It'll be a blast. But yes, there is on the water content. It's being edited right now. I still have PTSD from that shoot 3 weeks ago. It was brutal, man, brutal.
All right. I got some more questions coming in from those listening live. Utopia Outdoorsman, warranty on the hull.
Lifetime manufacturing warranty against defects on the hull, 1 year on all parts attached to the hull.
So what's typical in industry?
I would say about half the brands kind of do something similar, but then other ones do a deteriorating 3 or 5 year warranty, meaning we'll warranty it full coverage for the first year up to, in the second year, you get 70% coverage, third year, 50%, and they'll do a 3 to 5 year deteriorating warranty.
Mm-hmm. So a question for you, because with a new fleet of kayaks, he's going to be going out, a lot of people across the country. There's going to be, are you doing dealers? Is that how you're doing? Great. You're working through dealers. So they're going to be doing a lot of the servicing. and with such a lot of. Go ahead.
Correction. So yeah, traditionally, manufacturers have servicing and warranty go to the dealers.
Mm-hmm.
I did not do that at Vibe, and I'm not doing that at Kajo. I feel like that
Okay.
puts too much burden on the dealer. It requires them to house the parts, service the parts. It cuts into their time, and it's cost to them. So I've always handled warranties directly from the brand. If there's a hull issue, we'll ship you a new hull. We have all the parts, so it's easy. It's a lot easier for us to service parts, especially when you get into obscure pieces that, like, why would a dealer have this random, one size bolt that fits this one place inside the hull because it turns out the standard size length couldn't reach. You get the idea. It's way more efficient for us to service parts.
Got it. And I think this is what's kind of unique about this new fleet coming out of Camino Journey is, one, you've done this before, and so you aren't going to miss things. In fact, you're able to get out ahead of a lot of the issues, or maybe a lot of the growing pains you had over a Vibe. What makes the warranty, the servicing, all that stuff the most difficult? And how do you make the consumer the most happy? Like, is there a happy medium there? Is it time? Is it like, I mean, I hear people getting their hulls warranty, like, oh, you'll get it next spring. Like, holy crap, you can't. They end up having to buy a whole nother kayak and wait until it gets warranted if you're not close to a dealer that has a lot of like throughput, right?
Yeah. I don't really have an answer to that one. I don't know a whole lot about what other brands have done or do for warranties, but I have seen some of the horror stories, if you will. For us, it was, and anybody who's been a lifelong Viber or with us for years knows that we rarely had problems servicing parts because we have the parts. I don't really understand why it's difficult for other brands to service the parts. That's, to me, has always kind of confused me, to be honest. Like, we're making them, we just go get one.
Yeah.
Put in a mailer, out it goes. It's not that hard. So,
no, I like it.
Yeah.
So I know we're at an hour and 20 minutes, and we're not going to spend as much time on these other kayaks that we did these ones because there's a lot of similarities. But I do want to do like a quick flyby. We were looking at the Outpost 12.8, the Outpost 10-footer. Now let's take a real quick look at the other two. Your Terra.
The Terra is my boat.
That's
mine.
You created this boat for yourself. I love it.
Yeah, you'll probably never see me in a different boat unless we need another model and a seat.
Got it. So walk us through this one like uber fast.
Yeah, sure. So it's a hybrid hull. You get that big open flat deck. To me, especially as a big game fisherman, I like having that big space. So in this shot, we have the quad rails running more forward. I run the quad rails more aft when I install them on this boat. But I like being able to edge the boat, just stand on an edge, get my my surface below the surface, and I can drag my 45-inch red up on the side, or my sail or whatever, or my big striper. It's so much easier, just like, instead of trying to get them up and over a gunnel into the hull. And I already said I'm not afraid to get wet, so I use these style of boats. I go 3, 4, 5 miles offshore. I just cut through the wave and eat it. And then off I go. And because it's a flat deck, the water drains stupid fast. And I just like having all that open space to do what I want. Now, it doesn't help Seth out with his risk of losing fish. You certainly have a higher risk of losing fish on an open deck hull, for sure.
Not when you make the Seth Taylor net contraption thing.
Right.
Right.
I can honestly say I have lost more pliers off of this style hull than any other type of boat in the past. And of course, you always learn that one the hard way when you're trying to dehook a fish. You're like, that's just again, right? And that's where the Yak Attack tool tethering device comes in really handy. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's a big flat surface. They're fast. They're a lot faster because they're lighter. You do get more drift. You do drift a little bit faster because you have a shallower hull on the bottom. So do keep that in mind if you're looking at this style of vessel. You'll get to your destination faster, but you'll also drift off of it faster. So that's something to keep in mind.
Got it. Through hull wiring down to your transducer. There's a Pockeye Magic down there.
That's right. Also, that still fits that 12-inch transducer. Now, for me, a big thing on this style of hull is I hate when decks flex. And when you design a kayak hull efficiently, you're using the gunnels and the angles of the gunnels and the sidewalls for the load bearing for support, right? Otherwise, like it would just like sink. So without those on your roto-molded paddle boards or roto-molded hybrid hulls like this, you will almost always have extremely flexible decks. I can't stand that. So that's why on the Maverick and the Kubera, I went with a foam injection. Basically, it's like a giant Yeti cooler. Just did the entire thing in closed cell foam, so the deck is rigid, solid, like walking on concrete. But this go around, I wanted to go back to a true roto-molded hull for through hull wiring. In order to run my bow mounted motor and batteries and cables. You can't do that when you have closed cell foam inside. So underneath all the deck padding that you see on this boat is a reinforcement plate and a very cool structural pattern that we created in the hull itself. So there's structural rigidity underneath there, and then there's a reinforcement plate in the deck padding. So that creates that same no flex. You can walk all up and down the deck padding, and the hull's not going to budge at all.
You can't see it. You can kind of see it underneath the
you see a little bit on the edge there.
Little edge right here. That's just a real thick. What was that, like?
It's like a quarter. Yeah, it's like a 1/4 inch nylon.
All right, nice. All right, let's keep on rolling through the Terra. Oh, this is where you were talking about earlier. We actually have the rod into the pedal drive. Sitting flat.
That's right.
All the things we talked about. So these are nothing new because this is all in the outpost we already discussed. If there is something new that I'm missing, stop me, Josh. But it looks like these are all things that we discussed.
Yeah, big open deck on the back, plenty of place. You can fit your battery box, your black pack, kitchen sink.
Got another power plate here.
Jesse asked if there's a weight for this or what the weight is for this.
Weight as in weight capacity or like a weight?
I think, probably the weight.
Yeah, that's my favorite question is when I get like very detailed specs on the boats because, I designed this like years ago and we're already working on the next. So it is
the rig pounds.
Yep. Now let's talk real quick about published weights on boats. The industry forces us to do that cute like hull weight, but to me it's complete BS. That is the weight of the material that gets poured into the mold, and that's it. That does not include the brass fittings, the hardware, the rails, the handles, all that jazz. So when you see a manufacturer publish a weight and it feels, it just feels light. Like I know this boat is like 90 pounds. There's no way this is 65 pounds. That's why. So the rigged weight there, the 77 pounds, is the actual weight of the boat with everything on it.
Gotcha.
Got it. And this isn't going to be including the pedal drive or anything like that.
Correct. Now this is without the pedal drive and without the seat. That is, it's everything else.
Got it. And has a weight capacity of 475.
Correct.
All right. I'm not
something else we do, and there's something else we do a little bit different on weight capacity than the industry. And it's just you run out of space for disclaimers to explain all the stuff when putting a website together. But that is actual usable weight. Meaning you can put 475 on it and it'll still float. It'll still be dry. You get up to the 500, 525 pounds of weight on top of it. Then you start running into some performance issues and the boat becoming submerged. The way the industry typically operates is that weight capacity does not include the weight of the boat. So you have to subtract the weight from the weight of the boat from that weight. And then that published weight is going to be, it floats, you won't drown, but you're not going anywhere. So for us, that 475 is usable weight. Maybe we should change this verbiage to usable weight capacity. I should do that.
Last time we talked on the video, you're like, hey, we need to change that. Hey, we need to change that on the website. So this is great. This is all right. So that's the Terra. That's your baby. We talked about the pricing and all this bad boy. Anything else to say about the Terra before we move on to your Air Tracks?
Yeah, I just can't get it here fast enough. I need one like yesterday.
Got it. Love it. All right, let's head over to the Air Trek. Which one do you want to talk about? 10, 12, or the divorce boat?
10 or 12, they're the same. Basically, just one's 2 foot longer than the next.
All right, let's go to the
Did
12.
you say the divorce boat?
Yeah, the tandem.
Tandems.
That's
So kayak dealers, like, we love to sell tandems because every tandem kayak you sell is actually a 3 kayak sell, right? Like they're going to buy the tandem and they're going to come back, like next season and want 2
Yeah, we're
individual
gonna
boats.
need two more.
Heck
We're
no.
gonna need 2 more. Yeah. We can't do this anymore.
Walk us through bow to stern what we're looking at here. So,
Okay, so bow to stern, you've got a sewn-in handle. You've got your bungee storage, bungee lashings. Then you've got
so back
there's
up real
that
quick.
pattern.
So explain to everyone what drop stitch is, in case they're not familiar. And we're like,
Sure.
hey, just kind of.
So PVC drop stitch is it's a PVC material that is a whole bunch of strings that connect the top to the bottom. So if it was just a hollow cavity and you inflate it, it's going to inflate like a balloon. It's going to want to expand round. So drop stitch has like a whole bunch of real fine hairs that are attached that when it inflates, it then creates pressure against itself, which creates a nice rigid solid. That's why you can, when you see people doing demonstrations where you can take a drop stitch inflatable board, put it on an angle and just walk up and it only bends like just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's because that drop stitch technology in it.
I've seen freaking trucks run these things over.
Yeah,
No
exactly.
issues. Yeah. It's crazy how durable and how like rigid these things are. It's wild.
Yeah.
If you've never touched the drop stitch inflatable kayak before, you'll be like, what the crap am I touching around? It really is crazy. All right, keep going.
So then the black straps are, there you go, rod storage. So for me, we also do this on the Outpost 128 and on the Outpost 100. It's on the hatch lid. So when you have your boat in the back of your truck or on a trailer or something, this gives you a really easy place to store your rods on your trip. You just lash on those rods there. You put the handles and the reels and your rear bungee, and off you go.
There you go. You got your paddle park
So
that's Velcroed in.
Paddle park. Yep. You've got 4 gear track accessory mounts there. Those are T-tracks, so you can put any T-bolt accessory on there. But then it also has the good old-fashioned Scotty mount. So if you have older Scotty type gear or the Mighty mount, the Yak-Tag Mighty mount fits into those that whole pattern as well.
Got it. Pretty basic seat.
Pretty basic seat. It does still have a high, low, and recumbent position.
Okay.
The feet kick underneath.
So it kicks right here.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, interesting. And then you have a gear track on the side.
Yep, gear tracks on both sides. Mainly for the steering handles. You can choose left to right on steering handle, but still gives you that luxury of having some gear closer by, some side saddles. And these seats are compatible with the perch as well.
Like it. And then the back, oh my gosh, all the mounts you can think of.
Yep, same thing. I kept with that same triple power pole mount configuration. So because our rudder system, when you put the foot pedal drive in, the rudder will mount to that center power pole mount, micro power pole mount, and then you can put your power poles, you can flank it on the side.
Got it. And these are going to be your, do you have pressure relief valves on this one?
Yep. Sure do.
So walk through, I thought that was it's brilliant because you get these things out in the heat, right? They're already pressurized to what, 15
PSI,
15 PSI, which is a lot of PSI. You don't want this thing blowing a weld, which would take quite a bit, I would imagine.
It would take a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. But nonetheless, whenever these things, if they put it out in this will actually allow pressure to release without it over inflating. Yep.
And good thing you mentioned weld. So ours, we're welding all these. There's no, it's not glued together. These are all heat welded seams on these boats.
So walk people through, because I thought this was interesting and you haven't mentioned it yet. the testing on these, right? You were like, okay, so
every inflatable that we make gets inflated, and it stays inflated for 48 hours. We do a pressure check on it before it gets boxed up and shipped.
So it just sits there.
Yep.
And what's the failure rate on that?
Well, it would be 0, or we're not putting it in a box.
No. The failure rate is like how many you get made. I'm just curious. How many you wake up next morning and like, hey, 2 of them out of 100.
Actually, it never happens. It's such an
Really?
obscure number. It's never, like, it's fraction of a percent. And the suppliers that we work with, like they manufacture for leading global brands. I can't go into their list, but I promise you know the brands that manufacture the same boats that are making ours.
Got it.
Nice.
All right, so let's take a look at the prices of the Terra real fast. We haven't talked about that, so we're looking at $17.99, and you can add the Traverse, the quad rails, the seat perch, and then when it comes to the Air Trek 10, it's going to be $8.99. The Air Trek 12, $9.99, and the Divorce Boat 14 footer, $14.99, and you can add 2 Traverse drives to that bad boy.
That's right.
All right. So the question everyone wants to know, and I think you've kind of talked about it, but in case you're coming in a little bit late, people are popping in and out of this podcast over the last hour and a half. So Josh, let everyone know kind of when people, I know you talked about twice now, and I have to do it again because people are popping in and out. When can people expect that mythical date into the future? What's the date that you were shooting for? These
boats will be available at dealers worldwide in March. And when in March depends on your location. There's a big difference between, say, Miami and North Dakota.
Yeah.
But March is when they'll be arriving in dealers, probably around mid-March. And then we are in production right now for an early access batch of inventory. But being that it's a first production run, we don't know what we don't know. I'm expecting delays. We just don't know what those delays will be just yet. If everything goes off without a hitch, which is impossible, it would be early December that we could have boats available. But I would say realistically, it's probably going to be January sometime when we have that first early access batch. But guaranteed March is we're on target for.
Are you going to be doing pre-orders?
Let's wait until they're shipping first. And better way to put it is once we announce our dealers, it'll be a lot clearer on how pre-orders will work.
Okay.
A little bit of a dealer plug there, but we are pushing really heavy for the dealer network this go around. I did do direct consumer with Vibe. It's a possibility here, but we have a really strong dealer network. So pre-orders will likely go through dealers.
How many dealers are you planning on launching with?
That's a good question. TBD on that one. We're
Got
still in negotiation with a few, but we'll have that information published in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
There you go, Steven. That's your question. You ask who are the dealers. 2 or 3 weeks on their webpage. All right, this is the last call for questions that you have for Josh. Seth, do you have any questions? I'm curious. This is since you don't watch any of my other videos that I posted. It's awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome for the support. You're welcome, bro.
He's too busy winning Bassmasters over here.
I see when they're posted. I'm like,
you saw that it posted, just didn't watch it. Well, they were long. Don't get me wrong. I mean, some of them were an hour and a half. I believe I posted one with all of them together. It was over 3 hours. It's easier for people who are like really, really like, hey, that's my next kayak. What's your first?
Man, they're sharp. They're sharp looking kayaks, and it seems like you thought of like all the things like an angler, a bass angler would want. And I know you do a lot of offshore, and I know these are for more than just bass folks, but seems like you have everything in there that you would want. And I started on. I live in South Florida, so you probably know, but like Van Hunks, probably heard of Van Hunks.
Yeah.
So that was like my starter kayak, which is like, not really comparison to these, but more on like the Tacoma level, right? Like you were saying, not like the big old heavy Hobie PA. So I like these, and my wife wants a new kayak and stuff. So these are sharp. So I might have to look into getting one of these next year for
Awesome.
her. Yeah, so she'll go out there and show me up, like she normally does, catching 9-pounders. But no, I really like it, and I like you said, the modularity on how you can put different things on at different mounts without having to drill a lot of holes. It's really cool. And the seat deal, the pedestal, or whatever, I forget what it was called, the perch.
Yeah, the perch.
It's cool.
Man.
And when you add that thing that has ST in it to block those bass from jumping out, it's really going to put it to the next level. So, no, it's really cool. I really enjoy these. What's that?
In fact, if we design that ST shield just right with the right kind of angle material and some kind of like maybe carbon fiber rod system that has like strength to it, you could be up on the perch. And depending on your, if you're the weight of your braid or whatever, you can flip that bass onto the shield and use it as a chute and slide it into the cockpit.
Yeah, man. You're thinking about
take it all the way.
Yeah, he's not gonna be able to sleep tonight. This thing's gonna be
One
catted out.
One of my ideas when I'm out there and I lose a fish, and I'm just like, why is there not a product developed to stop this from going off my kayak?
Now you can blame Josh, because now he's responsible, because now he knows the issue.
Oh shoot, man, big responsibilities.
Yeah,
no, they're what I like. I mean, they're just super sharp too. They're like cool to look at. Like even like your designs on them, they're sharp looking kayaks. So yeah, I like them a lot, man.
Thanks, cool. I appreciate it.
I have spent 4 or 5 hours with you talking about these kayaks. I don't know. I've had my hands on a lot of kayaks now. I've seen a lot. And of course, I haven't had my hands on this one yet. But knowing your history and what you're bringing to the table, and I feel like this is just like, hey, I've learned a lot of lessons since 2014 or whenever you started Vibe.
Yeah.
And these kayaks are literally the result of all those lessons learned. And because of that, I think you're going to be coming out of the gate with a really super
strong
quality kayak that people are going to love to fish out of.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. It's years in the making. We have a strong dealer network, strong customer base behind us. The response and the dealer preseason orders have been fantastic. I'm excited. We don't even have the boats here yet, and seeing the fruits of all that labor is just amazing. Like, I love having these conversations, and that everything that we put into these boats is being seen and understood.
Yeah, 100%. Now, you did mention something earlier in the podcast. I'm not going to let you get away with it without explaining. You're already moved on to the next thing. I need to know what the next thing is.
The audio is not working. I can't.
We can hear you just fine. Just talk.
He's going to keep that one close to his chest. Huh? Maybe I'll get a green room answer on that one. I'll have to keep quiet. Maybe not. All right. Well, I would imagine if it took you 2 years to get to this point, and these are just now coming to the market, this is something you've probably been working on for some time. But looking forward to, I'm not going to keep pressing you on it, but looking forward to what's going to be coming out from Camino Journey. Where do people find you? I know this kind of, you being on podcasts and you being on videos, I think you mentioned to me your team's really pressing you for it. It's not something that you've done a lot historically. Is that correct or no?
Yeah, I tend to stay behind the scenes as much as possible. The team, I told you before, the team wants me to do some more talking head videos and be a little bit more present. And I reply, I'm usually pretty decent about replying to messages and stuff, but man, it's a lot different nowadays versus the prior companies I've launched 10 years ago, Vibe not being the first one. Is the amount of content creation work nowadays is like, wow, man. Used to be we just design something cool. We do one professional shoot and publish it, send it out to dealers, and like we're done. But team's like, no, we need talking head videos like all the time, and you on camera more. I'm like, but like, who's gonna design boats if I'm on camera all the time?
Oh man. Here I got a comment here. 10K Sweating says, hey, you should have one to go to China for a better photo shoot. It's already been doing another country fishing content. Let's add another one. I like it. We'll add it to Canada. Richard Ian Carpenter says, just got my Bite FD dialed in the way I like it after 2 years. Now I'm really liking that Outcast. Is it Outpost or Outcast? It's Outpost.
Close enough, though. No, Outcast is kind of fun.
Outcast
It's
Outpost 100 and the modularity. Gosh darn you, Darren. Thanks for sharing this information. I love it. I love it. And Wolf Walmart says, nope, content is 2 full-time jobs. Preach, brother.
Dude,
preach.
man. Yeah, exactly. And I already got like 9 full-time jobs.
Yeah. Yeah. This isn't like the only like company you own. You do like furniture work and stuff too. In Vietnam.
Yep.
So homie's got his hands in a lot of different things. Where can everybody find what you're doing?
So keep following us on Instagram and Facebook. CaminoJourney.co is the handle. You can also sign up for product notification alerts on our website at CaminoJourney.com. And yeah, that's about all I can tell you right now. We do have a group. You can join the Camino Journey kayak group on Facebook. We give updates there that are a little bit different from what we publish on our socials.
Got it. I love it. And to end this show out tonight, so special thanks to Dark Horse Tackle, our show sponsor. And yeah, I'm a big fan. I've been using and catching fish on their box that they send me. I love getting baits that are just a little bit different. Seth is winning.
They just got another 5th place, man.
Yeah,
they got
5th place at the Bassmaster. So just put any bait apparently in Seth Taylor's hands, and he's going to be freaking rocking it. Only Dark Horse. I love it. And also, I haven't told everyone yet, but I did win. Thanks to everybody here, because I didn't win it on my own accord. I won the Yak Offs out of the Sweet 16. I made it to the next round. So thank you all who took the time and voted. Appreciate you. I know we had a lot of fun. I made a bunch of memes about Bait and Bougie. That was a good time. And I guess there was 1,400 more votes over the previous week. So apparently that tomfoolery pulled in some more interested parties. And so had a good time there. So I'll be pushing that again in about a month from now. And we'll see if we'll get the P127 across the finish line and potentially the winner of the Yak Offs 2025. All right, folks. Josh, appreciate your time once again. I think, like I said, we've been going for 5 hours, but I look forward to what you're bringing to market. I look forward to hopefully getting in one. Hopefully one of the first. We'll see what happens. We'll see if we can make that.
We'll get it to you first.
Look at that.
One of the first.
I love it. I love it. All right, folks. Thank you so much for listening in. We see you next Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on the Kayak Fishing Obsessed podcast. You guys have a good one.